Childhood emotional neglect is a failure of parents or caregivers to respond to a child's emotional needs. This type of neglect can have long-term consequences, as well as short-term, almost immediate ones.
Understanding why childhood neglect happens is important for parents, teachers, caregivers, and more. It's also good to know what it looks like in a child who is experiencing it, and what can be done to correct it or help a child overcome it. We hope to stoke the self-awareness needed as a light on your path to a life purpose and healing. Number 1. Easily overwhelmed in situations. Kids have a natural sense of exploration of their surroundings. When children are neglected for extensive periods, they can feel easily overwhelmed in different situations. Places that are foreign to them can give them a sense of anxiousness and instability, which is a key sign of need for comfort. Number 2. Outbursts of anger and frustration. Your kids may express anger and frustration over mundane things if they have been neglected over a period. They can also get emotionally triggered if they don't get their way. This could be a sign of emotional neglect that has manifested itself in emotional outbursts.
Number 3. Inability to self-discipline. Emotional neglect during childhood can lead to a lack of self-discipline or motivation to do things. If you find that your kids are disconnecting from their daily routine, homework, and schoolwork, then it is important to identify this sign quickly. You can also self-assess how much time you are spending with your kids and talk to them about their emotions. Number 4. Difficulty trusting new people. A classic example of neglect in childhood is difficulty trusting people. If you find that your kids take much longer to trust others, then they may have a deeper-rooted challenge with opening up. You can talk to your kids about their feelings so that they're more accepting of trusting new people in their lives. Number 5. Physical manifestations of emotional pain. If your child constantly experiences pain, fever, knots in their stomach, and other ailments, then there could be an emotionally driven reason behind it. These symptoms could be more apparent in specific scenarios, such as visiting a relative, going to school, meeting friends, etc. It is important to track physical manifestations as they could detrimentally impact your child's development. Number 6. Disassociating from affection. Extensive periods of neglect can lead to a disconnecting or disgust with emotional connection. If you find that your children become uncomfortable with you hugging them or praising them, then there may be a sense of neglect in their minds. If you find that they're disassociating from you emotionally, then it is important to address that immediately. Number 7. Lower self-esteem. Children who have experienced extended emotional neglect can experience lower esteem, which can also impact their ability to feel joy in everyday life. They can find it harder to participate in class, establish boundaries, and be more open with other kids. Lower self-esteem can also impact their sense of wonder and make them more aloof in social situations. Number 8. Significant fear of rejection. While we all have an innate fear of isolation and rejection, kids who are neglected may feel it at a higher intensity. This could impact their outlook towards life and taking advantage of opportunities. Your children can feel insecure when left alone and experience bouts of crying when they're starting off school. Number 9. Poor performance at school. Kids who experience emotional neglect over time can experience difficulties with focus and paying attention in school. It is important to identify this sign quickly and know if your unavailability is impacting their quality of life at school. You can also talk to their teachers to know how they behave in class. Number 10. Difficulty in self-expression. Different forms of self-expression, such as talking, singing, painting, and dancing, may be more difficult for kids who have experienced neglect. Self-expression can be a key challenge to the point of being emotionally draining for some kids. Your children can also experience fear when trying to express their thoughts. Number 11. Speaking in a cold tone. This is a clear sign of distrust that should be identified quickly. Kids often speak in a cold tone if they feel like their thoughts and feelings don't matter to their parents. Your child may choose to speak coldly throughout all conversations, at which point it is even more so challenging to develop emotional connections. Number 12. Developmental delays. If your child is developmentally delayed in terms of performance at school, basic motor skills, and problem-solving abilities, then they may need a different parenting style. You can focus on empowering your child through the right emotional support system and be more present in their life. Number 13. 13. Disruptive behavior. Children who experience long-term childhood emotional neglect can start to cause disruptions in everyday lives as a means of expression. They can cause fights, destroy property, and create chaos in otherwise calm situations. You can speak to your child about their feelings to help them when they're distraught. Number 14. Chronic guilt. Your child can feel guilty all the time and outwardly show signs of deep guilt. When confronted, they may resort to tantrums and outbursts at an older age as well. You can identify this critical sign and assure them that you're emotionally available for them. Number 15. Inability to experience empathy. A serious sign of emotional neglect is the lack of empathy. If your child doesn't display empathy toward others experiencing pain, whether toward people or animals, then you should intervene. This could be a critical sign of emotional neglect, which can manifest itself in the form of lack of empathy. Did you relate to this video? Feel free to leave a comment down below with your thoughts, experiences, or suggestions, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and share it with those out there who need to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe to the University of Wombe and hit the notification bell for more new videos. Thank you so much for watching. The University of Wombe is a school of life and an academy of ideas helping people lead fulfilling lives by connecting 12 seemingly fragmented but interconnected dimensions of life into a universal whole.